Well,
3:30.
time's upon us. So we will call the FARGODOME Authority meeting to order for Tuesday, July 29th. Before us is Todd, Troy, Rob, myself, Blake, Rick, and Mike, and we have Dan on the phone. So first order of business is the agenda. Is there any additions to the agenda? I got to add one convention center update. That'll be 4A under additional items.
You can add 2.
Oh yeah, well I was not mad at you, but then I guess apparently Rob brought to my attention that under, we'll call it 4B, and that is August 26th FDA meeting / date change. So those will be the 2 items under additional.
What was the date?
Well, it's currently scheduled for August 26th, but we'll
August 26th. And
talk about a potential schedule change.
Gotcha.
schedule change. All right. So with that, will there be a motion to accept the agenda as presented with adjustments?
So moved.
Got a first from Troy.
Second.
From Mike. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you, Dan. Number 1, and that's the minutes from June 24th. Just take a second to thumb through those.
I'm going to approve, Mr. Chair.
I appreciate it. We got a first from Blake. We got a second from Todd. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Carrying on to old business. Number 2, is there any old business in front of the FDA? Hearing none, new business. General manager report. Rob, table's yours.
All right, page 3, as always, the month, which would be the June 2025 is on the left-hand page, year-to-date on the right-hand page. So for the month of June, 6 events with total attendance of 51,689 compared to a budget of 66,500. We had total event income of $280,000 compared to a budget of $390,500. And we had indirect expenses of $396,500 compared to a budget of $425,500. So that left us with a net surplus. Oh, okay. Threw me off there for a second. Of $31,000. However, that was compared to a budget of $127,000 for the month of June. On the event side, the concert, that was the Theo Von comedian. As we said before, we actually ran a full concert through there. So to only be $21,000 below budget on that is pretty good. Figuring that it's a short window for food and beverage, but it was a well-attended show. On the festival side, Happy Harry's Rib Fest, the rain fell at the wrong time, and all three out of the 4 days between 4 and 6:30. Crowds did rebound some, but because of that, attendance was slightly down at night, and per caps were down a little bit, so we're about $91,000 below budget there. Fargo High School graduations, also in June. This year, I think as we talked, interestingly enough, was the Sunday after Rib Fest, but FARGODOME staff and everybody did a great job of getting parking lot B looking pretty good, very good actually, and is very much above expectations for having a big party in there until about 11:15 the night before. Ready for that so that the parents and graduates could have the best atmosphere as possible for their events. On the other income side, net advertising revenue against below budget as the trend, and then ticketing revenue below budget with not as many events on sale, and interest income remains strong. On the expense side, labor was about $6,000 below budget. Somewhat of a timing. It was just the time of year to buy. We purchased the Excellence in Service employee welfare gifts for part-time employees for our upcoming all-staff meeting and the Excellence in Service recognitions throughout the year. Operations was about $27,000 below budget with the lower electricity and steam expense. And food and beverage, the management fee was below budget, basically, essentially off of the sales of Rib Fest being lower, so the percentage was lower. Any questions on the month of June? Hearing none, then year to date, that means we've had 47 events with 183,500 attendees compared to a budget of 198,500. We've had total event income of $1,454,000 compared to a budget of $1.5 million. And we have had indirect expenses of just about $2,570,000, or about $35,000 below the $2,605,000. And so through the first 6 months, we're at a net deficit of $150,000, which is slightly below the budget of $128,500 deficit. Any questions? Okay, that would conclude the financial report then. Moving on to the past and upcoming events, page 14. Since our last meeting, which was on June 24th, we had just finished Theo Vaughn. Had that weekend, last weekend in June, clear as we got ready for USA Wrestling. USA Wrestling started moving into the building on Monday, July 7th, and that continued through the late evening of Friday, July 11th, when they started with one of the female weigh-ins. The actual event wrestling started early morning, Saturday, July 12th. And basically went from about 7 a.m. to the building being busy, 7 a.m. to about 11 p.m. Through Saturday, July 19th. It was an off day. They did not wrestle on Thursday the 17th, but there were some weigh-ins and things going on. So there were 7 days, a lot of wrestling. There was 9,500 registrations, which equates to about 7,500 wrestlers. So it's just continues to go up and up and up, and lots of wrestling. And so they had women's freestyle, both the junior and the cadet, and then they had the boys freestyle, junior and cadet, and boys Greco-Roman freestyle and cadet. So lots of tournaments, lots of activity. Actually, this year was the first year Rudis, which is a supply company, was the main supplier, and they actually provided all of the wrestling mats. So the first time it was 32 wrestling mats out on the floor, all the same. So it actually looked pretty cool versus in years past where it's a lot of different school entities and things, but it was all the same wrestling mat. So it worked pretty good. But they packed up on Saturday the 19th, Sunday the 20th, and we're out of the building. It's a big cleanup to get rid of the subfloors and lots of staging and seating movers and things such as that. Has got operations and all the food and beverage, and everybody got ready for the Hozier show, which was this past Sunday. Great show, great attendance, 13-ish thousand. So I think for that genre and that type of genre, the last Sunday in July in Fargo, North Dakota, that's pretty solid. Been selling really well all over, and had great comments on the show, which takes us to today with the United Way moving into the lobby and kind of taking over that space yesterday morning, and they'll be here for 2 weeks with their backpack drive. Any questions on comments on past events from anybody? Coming up then, more miscellaneous events through our next meeting in the month of August. As we talked about, the United Way will be in here for 2 weeks with their backpack distribution. They'll be packing, getting ready, and packing all the backpacks all this week, with distributions to be late next week. Over this coming weekend, working with Newman Outdoor, or the FM Redhawks, for Blues Fest, so the west side parking will be used as camping. And then we will have NDSU's Fan Day on Tuesday, August 19th. And I believe it's either this afternoon, later this afternoon, or tomorrow morning, which is the depressing part because summer is over. It's football reports. And so they will be kicking off their season on the road for a couple of games on the 30th and the 6th. And the home opener will be on Saturday, September 13th. So we're starting to prepare for all that already. Questions from the board on past events, future events, financials, anything?
I heard a lot of great comments on the concert as well. So
Other than it was a little steamy. We had everything running, both big air chillers running, but we got a 75-degree dew point and 90 degrees. a bit of a challenge to suck the humidity out of this building. So, and then you put in 13,000 or plus bodies into the building. I think it was actually worse than it was worse than it normally is at USA Wrestling, because the week of USA Wrestling ended up being really cool last year, which was nice. But yeah, so they got to work out. But, we got through it.
Great article too in the paper.
Any
I said there was
any further questions of Rob?
No, I'm just trying to make a comment that there was a great article today in the paper on the Oyster concert, and editorial too. Always nice when McFeely finds something positive to say.
Well, I was going to ask you which one you're referring to, because I was going to warn you to not give McFeely compliments. Otherwise, it'll be a problem.
Well, it's nice that he found something positive. That's good.
Oh,
Good
he's a very
article.
positive person. You just got to look at it differently.
Right. Okay.
Anything further, Rob?
If there's no other questions or comments, I would conclude my report.
We will carry on to committee reports, and that is the Building and Finance Committee.
Thanks, Dave. The Building and Finance Committees met on July 23rd. Had good meetings. Rob reviewed the financial reports. I don't have anything to add. We had a lot of good questions and discussion on the finance reports during that meeting, however. Project and capital budget updates. Rob brought to our attention there was some issues with the building generator. Went down a couple of times during peak call, and we were awaiting the invoice from Excel. I don't know if there's any updates on that, Rob. So we do have maybe
Their normal billing will get in December.
May have some penalties on the Excel billing. We'll see what happens. Additional to that, Rob reported that AstroTurf will be back in the building prior to the first game to make sure the carpet is laid out appropriately, the turf. That was it for capital and budget. Rob, anything to add to that?
No, just, you saw the calendar, and July is normally quiet, but with USA Wrestling being 2+ weeks, with Hosier being a pretty big show, plus a lot of interesting requests and requirements, it was a long 3.5 weeks when you throw in the holiday in there, and so everybody stepped up. It was good to see everybody step up and perform well. The building, while we had power, performed well. And,
We had power.
but they're getting
Small wins.
some are getting a rest now, and it'll be cleaned up this week, and football turf will be coming out here shortly, and get ready for the fall.
We took a look at the March and April escrow balance reports. Through March anyway, the last report we have from our agent was that we had about a 5.3% return year to date through March. And then additional items really not under Finance Committee, except what Dave will cover on additional items on his 4A and B. So with that, any questions for the Building and Finance Committee? Mike, anything to add? I'll move to approve the Building and Finance Committee report. Included in that.
This will be roll call, Dan. So and we'll go to you last.
Okay.
Yes.
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 Thank you. All right, and then we'll go to additional items. 4A, and that's Convention Center update. Where we sit right now is the drop dead date for those RFPs are on the 7th of August. So that's just a little over a week away. And we are rounding third base in terms of completing our RFP. That should be close to completed here, if not completed here this week. And then those who are involved in the process of the RFP will get a look at that. And barring anything unexpected, that will be submitted on behalf of the FARGODOME, the RFP for the convention center due on the 7th. So good progress. I can tell you that the work that's being done, it's tedious, a lot of attention to detail, a lot of good input from everybody. And what we saw today is, of course, biased, but very impressive what we got coming forward. So, of course, we don't want to go too deep in what we have here because it's not public information, but We are on our path to have that submitted by the 7th of August. Happy to answer any questions if anybody has any questions. Comments from Rick and Rob have been involved, Amanda has been involved in it. Of course, we don't want to, like I said, tip our hand, but if they have any questions. All right. Hearing none, we'll go on to 4B, and that is, Rob mentioned to me that there was a request with respect to changing the date from August 26th on the FDA, so.
Amanda's got more than that.
Yeah. Nina Zoe had asked that you guys come out for our annual employee orientation that Monday prior to that meeting. I just thought maybe it would work better in your schedules if we just did everything on Monday, so you don't have to come out here 2 days in a row. So my request is to move the August meeting to Monday, August 25th at 4:30 p.m. And if we do that, I would also request that we meet in the administrative office because food and beverage uses this room to prep the meal for that employee orientation that night. So I don't know if you want to decide right now or if you want me to email you.
We can have the conversation right now.
Okay.
And the employee meeting's at 6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think we need to start that, or it's gonna, is that gonna be a quick meeting?
Well, it'll be a quicker meeting, but that end of the table needs to go help.
Oh, yeah,
Get
sure.
things set up and
After.
serve the meal and
Yep.
get the people signed in and all that. So I think the plan is kind of to finish by like 5:15, 5:30.
Yeah,
So that they can
makes sense.
go do that, and then I can go to the green room and get mentally prepared for my big show that I put on.
Right.
And with all of you coming in introductions, the good thing is that will reduce my normal 30 minutes down to about 3, and then you guys will take 27 minutes.
7 minutes. Does anybody have a problem with that? I mean, it seems efficient. Let's do it.
Okay. And then David, the format for that, we're gonna have Rob talk he gives kind of his introduction and everything from like 6 to 6:15. And then he's gonna introduce the board, and so we'll have you go up to the front, if you will, just so people can put a face to the name. And then David, if you wanna give like an update at that point on where we sit with the convention center RFP, that would be.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Budget for me about a minute.
You make it whatever you want.
I
But
gotta
our
you
part-time
need time
staff
for
is
Joe.
like actually very interested in.
I know, I get it. I will be prepared. I got a sitcom that a little comedy routine I'm working on. So.
Oh, well, you and Rob can get up there and go back and forth then, because that's what he does too.
Yeah.
So how many people do you expect it?
We usually get
He's about-
200 plus.
I was gonna say 1,500, whatever makes him whatever makes David a little nervous. But that's usually more than 2.
Just imagine with no clothes on. That's right.
You're gross.
So yeah, so no opposition to moving it to 4:30 on the 25th. Makes perfect sense. And we will go forward with that. Is there any other items before the FDA? Hearing none, we're adjourned.